So here's our skipjack head from earlier. And nothing exciting going on with him. We just got back from dinner, folks, and pulling in all the baits, take a look at them, make sure that they're usable. Now this one didn't have any bait, doesn't have any bait on it, but it may have had. I may have pulled it off getting it in. But we're going to go ahead and get some fresh bait out there. Oh. So this is the one that had that Blue River carp bait on it. We'll see how it's doing. I'm not sure that this doesn't have a fish on it. It is. Ah, it has my other line on it. That explains some of it. So this one is actually hung up. Oh, I was tangled in more than what I thought. I've got a third line snagged in this stuff. A third line that's not mine. Okay, let's see. So we got the third line tore up and out of there. There was a whole lot of twisting going on over here. Let's try to get some of this unwrapped. Okay. got what I can only describe as a compound twist in it. It's twisted around and twisted around and twisted around and twisted around other parts too. If I can get enough of an opening just to get this hook through, we could make some progress. It's so incredibly twisted, I'm just not sure how that's going to be possible. So get that part of it done. There. Come on. Almost there. There we go. So, in the process, I managed to bust this sinker slide. Basically, the sinker broke loose from it, which probably is the best outcome possible, given the situation. Now, let's get this one reeled up. You can see the sinker slide moved up a big, long way. So, this one is the one that had the Blue River carp bait on it. When it went on like shoe leather. And now coming off, it's still not coming off easy. So, one thing I can say about the Blue River carp bait is it stays on the hook. It may stay on the hook for the rest of forever. I mean, I'm trying to rip a hole big enough in it that I can get the barb of the hook out of it. And that is not working. I'm telling you, this is some stout bait. Now, I can't say how well it works. It didn't work here, but nothing else has worked either. So, not really a fair shake. There we go. But it's been out there for literally hours. So it's time to freshen up anyway. Got that one fresh. Well, we got bait out of it anyway. Now let's look at this one. See if I can bend this sinker slide back into submission so it'll hold another weight. I think I've got it good enough so that I work. So up till now, I've been using um, 6-ounce cannonballs on some of these. And I can definitely, things have settled down, I can go down to 4 ounces. So I got these coin sinkers that I got off Travis Dyer. No BS catfishing. And we'll get these hooked up. And then get some new fresh bait on these and we will be set to go. there's the last of my 6-ounce cannonballs. So we'll get that one off of there. And go get one more of these 4-ouncers. And get some bait put on there. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I will be back to read chat shortly. Let's see. Hey, Gino. Good to see you. Hey, Bob and Doreen. Good to see you. Polish Bass Racer. We are fishing in Lake Chickamauga. Hey, Wildcat. It's in East Tennessee. We are at the East Tennessee Gathering. It's a shindig put on each year around this time by Daryl Morris from Trophy Seeker Outdoors. And basically, he goes out and he finds sponsors and rents 5 of the campsites out here for anybody to fish from or spend the night if they get here early enough to claim the spot. But nobody's out here tent camping here, so they're just using it for fishing. They're primitive spots, which means no electricity, just you get dirt. No electricity, no running water. Bathhouse isn't too far away, so that's not bad. And like I say, it's available to anybody who wants to come out on Saturdays, or on the Saturday when they do a lunch. Last year was barbecue. This year was barbecue, and the barbecue was very good. Total of 0. I'm telling you, I'm getting there. So for lunch we had barbecue, pulled pork barbecue, sorry. In Tennessee, barbecue is pulled pork. There were some baked beans, there was coleslaw, there was peach cobbler. Drinks were provided by Pepsi-Cola. So all the Pepsi-Cola products, and then of course water. They provided some bottled water as well. And then after the noontime lunch, so this is the gut pocket that I'm throwing out. I just cut the whole thing off, let it chum the waters. I'm not really interested in catching channel cats, and those are the ones that like the gut pocket more than anything. Anyway, and after the lunch, they do a giveaway, door prizes from things that sponsors have donated. This year there were 5 different rods, I believe. So in addition to the 5 rods, there were a whole bunch of catfish clothing, did shirts and I think hats. I'm not sure on the hats. Several different groups did hats. Catfish Pro gave away a couple of reels. Cast King, there was a Cast King reel up there as well. There was somebody donated a Penn Squall, I believe. I mean, just a lot of good gifts up there. A lot of good door prizes. What else did we have? We had, let's say we had hats. Blue River Carp gave away a bunch of bait. There were a couple of rod holders from, I think, Takedown, but I could be wrong on that. I was sitting in the back, so I didn't get to hear a lot of the names of the people, but they blew a big banner that's got all the different companies on it. River Cats Tackle gave away a rod. Catfish Sumo gave away a rod. Freddie from Freddie's Outdoor Adventures, FOA Customs and Gear, they gave away a rod. There was at least one other reel up there. Like I say, hats, bait towels, shirts. The list just goes on. And everybody got some kind of door prize. They ran out of door prizes before they got to the end. Daryl gave away some of the gathering bait towels. So everybody walked away a winner. And in addition to all that, there is a big fish contest. It is for heaviest fish, and there's the first place pays $1,000. That's like $800, but $200 more. Second place is a whopping $500. Third place is $250. Fourth place is $125, and fifth place is $75. I don't know what the current big fish numbers to beat are, but at lunch you had to have at least 31 or 32 pounder, I believe, to even get fifth place. And since then I've been told that Chat Cats, unofficially I've been told that Chat Cats pulled in a 55-pound flathead. So that pushes everybody down a little bit, if that's in fact the case. Chat Cats has most of us have channels. I guess that should be a better way to put it before I even go too deep into that. Now, you do not have to have a channel to come join in the festivities. We all know each other through YouTube, so yep. Some skipjack lost his head just so I could do that.
I don't know why they use head.
Because catfish like them.
For real?
They're bloody, they have a lot of meat on them. And
What is your favorite reel?
oh, now that's $1 million question. Depends on what I'm fishing with and for. I would say my favorite one right now is probably these PC Fun Alios 400s.
Oh.
And they're a low profile bait clicker. They hold a lot of line. And they're low profile, which most of your catfish reels are round reels.
What does low profile mean?
So it sits like this. So instead of being rounded over, it sits lower to the frame. So you can kind of hold it with one hand like that. That's how the bass guys did it. And I used to bass fish.
That's like a bass fishing?
Well, it's built, no, not in this size. In a 400, it's definitely a catfish or walleye, any of those. It's a bigger fish kind of reel, made to hold a lot of line.
Oh. What kind of braid do you use?
Cheapest thing I can find on Amazon. Yep, I'm all about the cheap. I thought I had more bait. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I've got bait on them. Duh.
If you stuck onto anything, make sure you yell at me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was hooked up earlier and I called over Travis and was like, hey, bring the net. And then I didn't.
I want to reel it in.
Well, there's $1,000 on the line. I bet you do.
I mean,
We all want to reel in the monsters.
if I catch a big, if I hook onto a big one, somebody has to put me onto a flicker, put somebody's hands on my shoulders because I might go bloop.
Well, you know, out of all the reasons to get wet, that's one of the better ones.
All of the reasons to get wet. But what about the rocks?
They'll hurt.
I'll probably be pulled into the ocean by a catfish.
Well, the good news is the catfish in the ocean ain't that big. Freshwater catfish are bigger than saltwater cats, believe it or not.
I don't know why.
I don't either. But that's how they've adapted.
Oh, I probably know why. Because probably because they don't have enough bait in like the saltwater cats like to.
Yeah, saltwater cats aren't as much fun to catch.
I like anything saltwater but a catfish. And don't worry, I'm not gonna give it any slack, so it won't come loose.
Get this.
Is that an Apple iPad?
No, it's a cheap TCL brand.
Oh, TCL.
Yeah, I got it just so I could read chat on when I go live.
I wanna wait. I think it's called TLC.
Nope, TCL.
TCL. I heard a TV called TLC.
Yeah, that's the learning channel. Let's see, make sure I got volume here, folks.
I heard a TV.
Yeah, I do have volume.
What?
Welcome in, everybody. Hey.
I'm trying to beat my goal.
Yeah, Crypto Billy, I'm still doing my bestest out here. Hey, Wildcat, thanks for joining in, buddy. Get all my power set up here. So we just threw out fresh bait. 5 pieces of skipjack. The far right rod's got a skipjack head and the rest are body parts. And I did use that blue river carp bait earlier. It was a bear to get on and it was a bear to get off. So if you need something that's going to stay on your line, that stuff will stay on your line. I can't say if it's good or bad as far as bait because I haven't caught anything off anything. It's just sun's setting or is just barely set out here. Off in the distance, if you see those flashing lights, that's the nuclear power plant. The white lights, the red lights are towers of some sort. Probably electrical towers. And then in the background, I hear the snow cone truck coming. This is a nice little area. Ashley, I were talking about on the way back. Always something, Memphis had something like this. So the free day use, you can come in, you can fish, you can use the facilities here. The gates theoretically close at 10. They didn't actually close the night that I went out, but they've got this bounce house water thing. I don't know exactly what it is. It's called Nuga. They just started this weekend for the year. I don't know if they've had it here before. It goes through August or September every weekend. They got a guy that delivers firewood out here for a fee, of course. A lot of campsites ranging anywhere from primitive, which is just nothing but dirt or grass, and you pitch your tent wherever you can find a spot, and no water, no electricity, just camping like the good old days. And they've got, I think it was a 20 a night, either 15 or 20, and 25 a night. You got I don't know what they call it, but basically they've got an elevated platform made out of railroad ties that hold pea gravel. And you can put, the area you put the tent on there, it's got a picnic table, it's got water and electricity, and that's 25 a night. I don't know how much the RV spots are. They have RV spots, they have yurts even here that you can rent. I don't know how much those are either. I think probably the yurt's going to be about as expensive as getting a hotel room. Yeah, it's just people in the live stream chatting.
Oh.
Let's see. Yeah, Wildcat, we're still up here in Chester Frost. The competition goes till tomorrow at noon, I believe. So we'll go down here Thursday. So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night camping. And Ashley had to go get. Well, she went to go get the firewood. The guy said that had to take his brother to work or something, so he couldn't bring it out here. But she went and got it. And they're doing s'mores back to campsite. And otherwise, we're just hanging out here, seeing what happens with the rods. A Big Mike and Travis Young and Catfish Regulators are all back there, and they said they ain't had to bite either. So I did have one earlier, but and hooked it, but it got me into some structuring as the end of that. And the young man that you hear in the background, that is Big Mike's nephew. Right?
Right.
Yep. Let's see. Hey, Zane Cox, how you doing, my friend? Appreciate you coming in. We're out here catfishing Lake Chickamauga, trying to catch a world record blue cat, world record flathead, or world record something. Right here using big baits, 12-aught hooks, 4-ounce sinkers, and if we get a bite, it should be a good one. At least a teener. But some of these little fish can be very ambitious with what they think will fit in their mouth. So, but if something takes that skipjack head, it is on, because it's going to take some big fish to stick it in there. What's my PB? Well, that's a good question. About, I think 23 or 26 pounds. I don't remember. It's been about 20 years. The blue cat out of Lake Lavon, Texas. Flathead, I've caught, I don't know, 5 or 10 pounder. Channels, I've got like 8 pounders. PB bass, 5 pounder. I'm usually not a big fish guy. I'll fish for whatever I can. A lot of my streams are done from local parks in Memphis. So, you know, you're not going to find big fish in there. And if you do find them, it's because somebody decided to plant it in there. And that's always a bad thing. I remember when I lived up in St. Louis, went to a local park and they told about a guy that there was like a 50-pound blue cat in there. This was like a 3-acre pond. Somebody went fishing on the river and caught a big one and thought, hey, it'd be a good place to put it. A fish that big is just going to clean out that whole system. I mean, they can't support it. PB is a 25-pounder. Yeah. Last year we went out with, me and Ashley went out with Pontoon Jody, and Ashley caught her first blue cat. It was a 23-pounder. So needless to say, getting her to come back this year was not a problem. She hadn't really been fishing much. So the blue rod is actually hers. She won that last year here. And she was out here earlier hanging out with me, but her kids were, she thought was supposed to be with their dad this weekend, but they weren't. So kind of last minute change. We brought her kids down with us and kind of made it more of a family event than a couple retreat. But and there's a whole bunch of people down here, a bunch of YouTubers, some people that are not YouTuber. Well, some people don't have channels, but you know, come and visit the channels. Got some really good sporters that come out, and we're all just out here having a good time, fellowship, and hanging out. Let's see. So folks, if you want to, go ahead, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell YouTube what an absolutely brilliant and amazing person I am. I mean, it's a lie, but they don't need to know. And otherwise, we're just kind of watching flagpoles. If I had any sense about me, actually,
I think I know what the red stuff is. That goes like
where?
over there.
Oh, yeah, I think those are electrical towers, probably.
To me, I think it's like the end of the airport.
Ah, that may be. Yeah, there is an airport out here. So when we set up Thursday night, I got here before she did, but I didn't know how she wanted to arrange the tents and stuff, so I didn't set much up. So we had to use our lights, and I have 2 black lights here. I don't know if they're charged or not. So I just texted Ashley to have her bring one out, one or both of them out if they have any charge left on them. Because these rods, the yellowish one, the yellow green, I don't know, whatever color they are, chartreusey looking, those things light up beautifully at night. I don't know how well the blue rod will. I know it's got some UV paint behind the eyes or tape or something, so there'll be some kind of light from it, but they look really pretty at night. And the way that I get here, coming from Memphis, is I literally go through part of Chattanooga, like the city of, like the downtown area. I mean, not surface streets, but on the interstate. And the trip is not bad. I don't know what rush hour looks like, but when I go through, it's not bad. Going through Nashville, that was not nearly as much fun. Anvil, yes sir, Wildcat. Those are the Anvil rods. Skipjack, Cindy, and Travis told me about them. They were on sale for half price, and I think they may still be. It's last year's model, previous generation, whatever you call it. At the time, I only had the extra heavies left, so I got 4 of those, because if you're going to pay shipping, you might as well get a few rods out of it. And extra heavy doesn't bother me, because fishing the Mississippi, fishing rivers like Tennessee River, where can be strong current. Mississippi is definite strong current. An extra heavy is not a bad idea. So I've got some medium heavy Uncle Lou rods, and I really like them. And these, I hate to say anything's comparable to something else, but they kind of are. They've got, the aluminum reel seat. They're made out of S-glass. I dropped something, I don't know what it is. There it is. The microphone case is what I thought it was. Go put that up, get some of my accoutrements out the way. Stainless steel rod guides. Nice EVA foam handles. And it's just a heavier power rod. And that's, if you know anything about me, you know I can't pass up a good deal. So I heard a good deal, and I didn't pass it up. Now, if I had my choice, at the time I probably would have just gotten heavy. But now that I have the extra heavy, they're exactly what I wanted. I just didn't know it. But Uncle Lou kind of told me that, because I originally asked him, I said, I've got your medium heavies. Do you do a heavy? And he's like, no. I said, my medium heavies are kind of like most people's heavies anyway. And he right. Not that I didn't think he was right, but I believe Ashley's is a medium heavy. That's a force rod from Triple City Anglers. It is a much it's a lighter power. The same power rating, but it's not as stiff. That's weird. Told me it was clearing a message, but I didn't know what the message was. I remember once my ex-wife and I, we had a dog. And that dog was rambunctious. And the idea was, well, let's get a second one that'll keep it company. Don't do that. Just don't do that. The same goes for kids. Here, we'll have another one. They'll make it, they'll have somebody to play with. That's somebody to fight with. They are nice rods. Deborah, I have not caught anything, but that does not mean that the world record is not about to slam one of those rods over. And I swear the one on the right just twitched a very tiny bit, which doesn't matter because that one's got a skipjack head on it and 2 hooks in it. So whatever's actually going to eat that head is going to be a big fish. So just words. The others are decent chunks of skipjack, but not huge. Hey, Darren, welcome in, welcome in. Wildcat, flimsy rods. Well, flimsy's in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, to some people, a medium power is a flimsy rod. To some people, an ultralight is too stiff. And then we ain't gonna talk about fly rods. So I was really excited if you were able to see my live stream earlier. Showcased or introduced you to or something, some of the Rivercat tackle products. They got some innovative products over there. They had a rod came out, I think around February of this year. It's spiral wrapped, they call it acid wrapped. Basically, the first eye's on the top of the rod. By the time you get to the tip is facing downward, and then it just kind of wraps halfway around. And what it does keeps the rod, when you got a lot of tension on the rod, it doesn't want to twist back and forth. It also, if you bend one of these rods over with the straight eyes, yeah, there was another quiver on that rod on the right. A little tap. And my phone actually is my real phone. This is my YouTube phone. My real phone lights up better than that, but it's kind of dark out here. It's getting dark fast. I think the rods are $130. They're 7.5 footers. Of course, again, stainless steel reel rod guides, aluminum reel seat. Really nice, kind of like a smooth grip on them, but there is a very slight bit of texture, but it's got a really good feel to it. It feels like it wouldn't slip on you with wet hands or shad gut hands, that kind of stuff. What else can I tell you? And showed me a prototype reel. I think it's about a month out from landing, but he said he designed it himself. The only gears under the right cover are, of course, the main gear and the spool gear. There's nothing else in there. No other gears like reduction gears or anything. It's a 7.1 to 1 gear ratio, I believe he said. And I like a higher geared rod, or reel rather. You can slow down your retrieve if you're bringing in too much line, but it's really hard to speed up past a certain point if your gear ratio is too low. Now, a lower gear ratio does get you better torque, but again, with a power handle, I don't know how important that is. I don't know if that's Ashley or not. Can't turn my head that far. She didn't respond to me, so I don't know. Hey, H. Lee Osborne, how you doing? Welcome in. Hey, Hitch, tell you about the competition thing. What's going on? Well, my friend, there's no entry fee whatsoever, or no fee at all to show up. Free, get a free meal out of it Sunday at lunch, or Saturday at lunch, I should say. And then there is a big fish competition, $1,000 to the big fish, $500 to the second big fish. Actually, it's not to the big fish; it's to the person who brings it in. Third is $250, fourth is $125, and fifth is $75 cash money, as opposed to non-cash money. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. La 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 la. Well, so Wildcat, the force rods, again, medium, heavy, medium. The power is determined, the rating is determined by the manufacturer, however they want to do it, right? No different than, you can get 8/0 hooks from 5 different manufacturers and they'll be all different sizes. So, it's what you call it, right? And it's certainly, it's a nice rod. I have no complaints about it, especially since it was free. Let's see. Hitch retracted all of his messages. That's a shame. You're probably telling me how good looking I am. I don't blame you. I am a pretty good looking fella. Sure would have been nice. Hey, Mrs. Hitch, how you doing? Good to see you, Alexis. Ashley was out here earlier with me, but then it got dinner time, and so she took the kids out to dinner. We took the kids out to dinner, I should say. And she's probably making s'mores right now. Seen a decent number of boat traffic, which you would expect on a weekend. Nice weekend like this. I haven't seen a lot of barge traffic. I've never seen one that there's one that I can remember. How's that? Where's the boat? Well, Hitch, here's a long story. So I took it out Thursday when I got here, and there was a wake boat coming at me. I thought it was just a normal ski boat. It was a wake boat. By the time I realized how big the wake was, it was too late. And I hit it, and I went airborne. And I landed, and I swear I lost 3 vertebrae in the process. The trolling motor deployed by itself because it was that hard of a hit. And my console is now loose, which is not a big deal. I can figure out if I popped a couple of screws or whatever and fix that. But it did a number on my back. I was in so much pain on Thursday, I was beginning to wonder if I'd ever be able to hold down a desk job again, just because it hurt to sit, stand, lay down, or anything else. And then as I was getting out of my boat after that, I believe, I took it to the dock, I fell out of the boat, fell while getting out of the boat. I didn't fall in the water, just fell onto the dock itself as I stepped up. And that was an ugly sight to see. And then yesterday, I went to go get some stuff out of the boat and climbed into it, and managed to fall on it again, fall while getting into the boat, and caught the rod holders that are mounted on it with my side. So yesterday afternoon, we pulled it out, and I put it under its cover because there was going to be a storm last night, and there was a storm last night. But with as much physical problems as I've had with that boat, man, that's me problems. It's not the boat's fault. I was like, I'm gonna try not to kill myself this weekend because I was hurting. I'm on some naproxen and some meloxicam muscle relaxers, and that's helping a lot. But everything, all my muscles are stiffed up. This one compensating for what that one used to do and that kind of stuff. And I'm just, I'll just say that the boat whipped my butt this weekend. Camping out there? Yes, we are camping out. It's about 5-hour drive from home. We're over in Chattanooga. I mean, just outside of Chattanooga, really. And I'm on the absolute other side of the state. No kayak yet. Well, somebody was going to send me a kayak, and it got lost in the mail or something. He's also going to send me a reel, and it must have gotten lost. I think what happened was the reel caught hold of the kayak, and they fought, and they both went underwater. That's the best I can figure out. Any fish yet? So, I mean, I caught a bluegill, but that doesn't count. Caught a turtle. That doesn't count either. I was hooked up earlier, but it went into some structure and I couldn't get it out of it. And I gave it about 30 minutes to get itself out, and it was happy where it was, it said. So finally had to break it off. So I got 5 pieces of carp out there. The far right rod has a headpiece on it. And then the other 4 have body slices. And back behind me and under some canopies, you got catfish regulators, you got Fishing Big Mike, you got Travis Young. I'm sure there's a few Martin S from the UK's over there. When I got back from dinner, asked if there was any action. Like, no bites, no nothing. But everybody knows that some people consider catfish to be a nocturnal aminal. Yes, aminal, it's a new word. So whether we'll have a better bite at night, I don't know. Last night they were supposed to have a bonfire here, but apparently the wind was too high. They canceled it. But I was gonna put the rods out last night, and we had dinner, and Cindy and Travis stopped by and brought me one of those caramel apple pies, and Travis brought me some sinkers, and I had dinner, and I had we'll call it a slice of pie. It might have been 2. Don't tell anybody. And you could push me over with a feather. And the boys were much the same. They're like, oh, I didn't really leave room for s'mores because they were going to bring the s'more stuff up here and do it here. And so we all I turned in early last night. And then tonight they're supposed to be doing s'mores over at the campsite. Let's see if Ashley responded. She has not. And she's not the world's best about reading her messages. I'm going to run over to campsite for a few minutes. See if either of those black lights have any charge left in them. Because they will really show off these lights, these rods real well. Maybe someday I'll send you my number. Everything will be sent out Monday. Everything? You want to keep? Go ahead. You'll buy me a raffle ticket instead. A raffle ticket. No. To All Things Country. No, thank you. I won't say anything more than that. Nothing against All Things Country. But no, just hang on that chaos reel. You don't need to send me anything for it. I just actually traded Travis Young my last Chaos 60. I believe it's my last. I keep finding new reels in the house. I still got a bunch of the Chaos 50s, and but I traded him that and a rod for these 5 rod holders that you can't see very well in front of me. So guys, I'll leave the stream running, and campsite's not very far away, so I'm gonna run over there real quick. Light lights are available. I will be back shortly. Stick around. I did have a complaint about this place. It's fixed that damn roads. Now we have light. Of course, I can't see anything anymore, but that's okay. Microphone, get that back on. Here we are, folks. Whew. Wish I could. Be right back, folks. We're just gonna get. That's not what I want. Jesus. Oh, you ace of B. There it is. Oh. There's that gonna charge? Where's the lights? Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Got that started charging. Get everything situated again. Oh, here we go. Oh, Ralph took it from Cabela. Sure, why not? Oh, yes, absolutely. That'd be awesome, Hitch. Sorry. Make sure. Yeah, light's still on, so everything. Hey, South Wisconsin family fishing. Sorry, had to leave, go to the campsite for a minute, and go get the black light because it's getting dark out here. Getting hard to see things. Let me see what things look like here on camera. Get to live. Come on. Oh, that ain't bad. Okay, let's see. Hey, Following Ghost, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Hey, Deborah, no, haven't caught anything yet, but if you stick around, the world record could be caught. Maybe not, but it could. Now, what's really cool, see if y'all can see it. Yeah, you can. Okay, so going from the right rod over to the left. So the far right rod, it has braid on it. The net one next to it, I believe that's going to be 40-pound suffix, high vis, yellow, green, yellow, high vis yellow. That's kind of going to be the theme going across. The one on the other end also has braid on it, so it doesn't show up quite as well. But you can see on, well, you can see on 4 of the reels, the middle one that's just turned sideways. But you can see that line shows up real good on the black light too. Back over here, what's going on? Still breathing, that's always a good sign. Hey, Colin Camping. Yep, so these rods look nice under black light. What I don't understand is that I thought that blue rod, so its glow tip is showing up a lot better than the anvil. Now, granted, none of these, they're the glow in the dark. They're supposed to be, you charge them up or whatever that nonsense is. But they're only good for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, right? So as it gets darker, they start losing, they start expending that stored, I don't know, whatever. So, the anvils have that. You can see the spots behind the eyes where they've got the regular rod color eye, whatever. But I thought that on that blue rod, the force rod, I thought that behind the eyes was kind of like how the anvil is. On those top eyes, I thought that's how they were. I thought that's what the force rods did. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's high vis during the day. I don't remember. But anyway, so the tips. Let me look back at the picture y'all are seeing. Yeah, so the tips on these, you see them, they just kind of like go off into nothingness. The middle one's your best bet. And they're actually one, so you got that one band at the top. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 eyes, and then the tip beyond that. So you should see, I think we can see no. We can see 2 of the extra bands. There's the one that's right there adjacent to the bottom. So there's 2 more bands that aren't showing up on camera, and then there's the tip. So you're seeing about 6.5 to 7 feet of a 7.5 foot rod. So just kind of keep that in mind. If the things you can see bend, it's done a decent bend. So just go over the bait for everybody again. Everything is skipjack. The 4 rods on the left all have skipjack body parts with the gut pocket cut off, and the far right rod is a double hook rig on a skipjack head. So if something actually takes it, it's going to be a good fish. Now, it's gotten a couple of little taps, nothing worth writing home about. So I don't have a whole lot of faith that whatever was messing with it has done anything or is big enough to do anything. Those little fish, and it could be a turtle that's just trying to take a little dinner. Now what's interesting, if you guys can see it, doesn't show up real well on camera, probably because of angle. Whoops. I keep forgetting I'm tethered to one of the power banks. But this third rod, the middle one, down here at the bottom, and that didn't help. Let's turn that like so. Where you can see the blank through the rod, or through the reel seat. That looks really cool. Anyway. And the people spinning tires, they're not being pricks. I've spun tires getting back down here. The ruts are just so bad down here that, I got stuck in my front tire. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to back out of it. And that's ruts in the actual road. Stuff where they got gravel out and everything. So they kind of need to fix that. I remember it being bad last year, so it's kind of weird to have the storm that came through Tuesday night or Wednesday night that was bad. Took down trees and stuff. They had people out here cutting trees and cleaning stuff up. By the time I got here, you couldn't tell anything had happened. But then they got these ruts that they haven't fixed in at least a year. So, well, there's that. Beggars can't be choosers, all right? Man, these rods look nice at night. I wish I had one of my Uncle Lou's out here. I've got them in the boat. They were a different rod locker. The Uncle Lou's show up real nice at night too. Oh, let's see. I did. Yeah, Wildcat, I've got 4 of them in the boat. But my boat, it's kind of a weird configuration. It's got, in the middle of the front, it's got a big rod locker that holds 5 rods. And then it's got a rod locker on each side, and it's got one other storage compartment. That's it. I mean, it's got a big rear live well, it's got a front live well, but the storage on the boat is lackluster, to say best. One of the rod lockers I use for storage. The problem is it goes so long, you can get stuff stuck up in there that you ain't getting back out for a while. Let's see. Do. Hey, Rod Wilson, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Northern Fishing Outdoors, good to see you. Get one set up. Well, that'd require me getting back in the boat. And it's got the cover on it. And I'd have to send Ashley to do that, probably. And yeah. But I've done lives with Uncle Lou's rods out before at night. And they do show up, they're pretty. And it's kind of funny because Uncle Lou's rods are orange. He has, I think he came out with a different color as well, a purple or something, I don't remember. But I've got the orange ones, the original ones. And I've always been one of those people, I was like, I don't care what color my rods are. It doesn't matter. They're rods. They don't need to match my reel. They don't need to nothing. They're rods. Kind of made jokes about people that needed a blue reel to match their blue rod and all those kinds. Like, when I grew up, you had 2 choices. It was white or black. And you didn't really have a choice. It was ever, whatever, you know. They didn't have all these multicolored rods and stuff. And, you know, Mad Cats has come out with every color under the sun. And I'm not saying anything negative about Mad Cats. I'm just saying that's a lot of SKUs. But, you know, people like different colors and different color handles and all this kind of stuff. And I'm kind of a purist. But then, you know, it was kind of like when Uncle Lou came out with the orange one, I'm like, they're orange. That's a strange color for a rod. And then when you see them under black lights or see them on a live stream, you're like, those things stick out. Nice. They look good. These animals have the same thing going on. They stick out nicely. They, you know, even in the dark with just a black light on them, which, you know, keeps most of the bugs away. Doesn't attract them like a bright light would. Yeah, I'm doing good. Let's see how I'm doing. Still 83% on this one. Let me go check my main camera. Or my camera. Phone. And see how it's doing on juice. Oh, this is a treacherous area to be at night without a flashlight. Matter of fact, pick up my phone. Where is it? There it is. I feel like one of those suspect individuals. I was surprised, not surprised. I was worried that when Ashley found out I had more than one phone, she'd go, what is it he's doing? Just a second, see if I can. Yeah, it's still at 87%, so I'm good on that one. Let me go see if, I don't recall seeing it, so I probably don't. Ooh, I may have one in the car, in the truck. I usually keep one in there. See if I got a flashlight. It's not there. I know y'all wanted play-by-play as I did this. There he is. Yeah. So now I got an honest to goodness flashlight. Ooh. Goes from narrow to wide and all that fun stuff. There's much tree roots. There's some rocks over here. Like I say, make it a treacherous area to walk. Boy, the gnats are going absolute bonkers in front of the black light. It works for me. If they're up there, they're not on me. I'd forgotten how dark it gets out here. The campsite the campsite we're in, and they've got like a street light up there. Oh, let's see. Hello, Melissa. Welcome in. Welcome in. Sure appreciate everybody coming out. Okay. I wish I had some bug killer. I'd spray it down where everything's down there and just get them out of my life forever. Gnats are just annoying, though. They don't hurt you. They don't bite you. They just get in your nose and your mouth and your eyeballs. And oh well. Wow. I've done 9,879 steps today. My watch does not count steps very well while I'm dancing. I'm lucky if I get 5,000 when I'm out dancing. But I've done a fair amount of trekking today. Not long trips, but still. They all add up. They all add up. Start a small fire, nothing crazy enough. You know what? I don't know if you can see it, but right in front of me is a doggone fire ring. That is actually a doggone good idea. Let's see. I do not have anything to actually start a fire with, though. Some little twigs. Do I have anything good and flammable? Even if it's not supposed to be used for that. I don't think I do. Do any of you kind folks have a lighter I could borrow or anything that can start a fire?
Yeah. Sure.
I don't have any kind of accelerant, but I'll try to anyway.
No. No. Good. Take them home. Nope. Give it to somebody. Take it.
Oh, hey, sir. See if I can't get something started over here. Let's see if there's... Dominic had a lighter I can borrow, so now let me... Oh, yeah, here's some paper and some receipts. and get some of that kindling going. That'll I was almost ready to claim success. Let's see. That did not do as I wanted. Got some paper towels, we'll try those.
You want a whole pack of chicken for bait?
No, I've got plenty of skipjack. I appreciate it though. Yeah, I've got more skipjack than I can use while I'm here. Thank you though. Yeah, these sticks are a little wet from the storm still. I make certain that storm was last night. I can understand why. Now I know why Outdoor Boys or Catfishing Carp, if you remember him, I always said carry some Vaseline soaked cotton balls when you go camping because they're great fire starters. And I got these paper towels, they're lit up. I can just get that kindling to touch off. Aren't really any leaves around here to try to use. Some of the kindling tried to start. That sounded good and dead. Let's see if the bark of that'll light up or not. It is trying to start. It feels like it wants to start, and then it decides it does not. Come on, you can do it. I think we have success.
Martin got one because he's the only one that understood.
And thanks, sir.
Oh, not a problem.
Appreciate it.
Not really.
This piece is wet, but maybe it'll dry out on the fire and then burn. Well, it didn't go after all. It's smoking like it wants to reignite. Okay. Looks like I am not going to make it as a professional arsonist. Oh, let's see. You're out of dual lock snaps. That's a shame. If only there were stores that sold them. Yeah, I think this fire ain't gonna do what I want it to do. Oh well. I thought I had it. Yeah, Fritos do, but I don't have any of those. Oh, you ain't kidding. Get the gas can. Let me tell you. If I had a gas can, I would have done it. Yeah. I'm just glad I don't have a siphon hose. I'd probably try to get some gas out of the tank and end up drinking some because, you know, stupid redneck tricks. Oh, well. We tried. Order 800 dual locks and you're out. Wildcat, I thought I lost too many rigs. 2,000 more. Easy way to spend 500 bucks. Yep. I do need a leaf blower. Smoke extraction. Oh, well, there you go. I was hoping for a little light out of the situation. Still see one ember down there. I keep trying to get something close enough to it to start it. Let me grab one of these sticks. Seems like the smoke's getting a little stronger. Not a good sign. I just had one of the bugs land on one of the paper towels I'm actually trying to get started. Okay, so it's getting Did my mic shut off? Whoop. My mic shut off. Okay, folks. Give me a second. My microphone, for whatever beautiful reason, decided it didn't want to work anymore, or wanted to power off. That doesn't make any sense because it's been on the charger. Although that could mean my power brick died. Yep, power brick died. We'll be back. Let's see, how far is that one charged? It's up to 2 bars. Okay, got that power bank charging. Come back over and see how my phone back. It's still at 85, so that's good. Unfortunately, this weekend has been a comedy of errors. Well, maybe not a comedy. Comedies are funny. Oh, my deadgum effing fire went out again. Like I say, comedy errors, folks. Comedy of errors. I really thought that sucker was going to stay lit. Oh well. Crap happens. Let me get my headlight on. There's that. Turn that off. That's twice that I've celebrated this fire being set prematurely. We'll leave that premature word alone. No need to go there, folks. I know, funny coming from me. We'll just let that one slide. And I think I got enough embers. That should. So I bought these Kleenex hand towels. God, been a couple years ago. Because I found a deal on them. I'm telling you, I'm a sucker when it comes to deals. I'm going to turn this headlight off. There ain't no reason to be inviting bugs over my face. Oh. Anywho. Let's see what's going on in chat. Besides y'all laughing at me for being an idiot. Yada. Start the fire on the concrete to run them off, and the operator put it out with a hose. Pick up tools. A crowd of nose imps. I don't know what they were. Didn't know who was going to change his pump, and didn't who it wasn't. Black light on those rods. Yeah, the black light really does just a fantabulous job. Now, part of that, I mean, that is the rods were designed for that. Let's see which app is dying. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube. It doesn't need to suck this bad, but it does. Alright, so which Wi-Fi are we on? That's the reason. Let's forget you. So they got Wi-Fi out here. It just doesn't work worth a shizzle. And I mean, they pretty much tell you that we offer free Wi-Fi. We guarantee nothing about it. Let's see if I can see my hand moving. Yep, there we go. Okay. So that tells me I am live, still live. Wildcat, I am sponsored by absolutely nobody except my own job. They don't know they sponsor me. It's just that that's where I spend. That's how I make the money I spend on tackle. No, Rivercat's tackled. He's a good dude. He did give me a free pack of hooks today just to let me try out some of the new German steel ones. I'm not sponsored by anybody, and as much as I'd like to be, I have to be very careful about being sponsored by anybody because I'm not for sale and I'm really not for rent either. I'll tell you about these anvil rods because I believe in them. I tell you about these PC Fun Alios 400s because I have a really good hope for them. I tell you about the Chaos 50s because I've had good luck with them. I tell you about the Abu Garcia 6500s because they're good reels. I tell you about the Uncle Lou rods because they're good rods. But I can't become a promoter the way a lot of people have. And, not throwing shade at anybody, but I tell you what I'm using because it's good products. Sometimes people want to know, sometimes they don't care. That's fine too. But I don't want to be those guys that are like, I'm using a Tampax rod with a poise reel, depends line. My swivel is the greatest swivel you'll ever find in the whole wide world. It is made by Eucerin because I ran out of tampons and undergarments to say sponsor me. So we're going to hand lotion. Now, so I do use the whatever line I said I used. I think it was Poise probably. It depends. I don't remember. But now for leader, so mainline is one thing, but leader, now that you got to use Jergens. And then I got a Johnson & Johnson float on there and a rattle that's made by Bristol Squire Mibbs, whoever they are. And definitely Pfizer brand hooks. Now, I mean, if you've never used a Pfizer hook, my God, you have never used a hook. There is no hook on earth like the Pfizer hook. I have landed 3 billion pounds of European carp catfish. Swear on the Holly Bibble. These, if you are not using Jergens baby lotion or Jergens hand lotion hooks, you are doing it wrong. I can't be those people. I saw a video not too long ago, somebody walking through one of the tackle shows, and they're like, "Oh, these dragon weights here, they're the best. You need to get these. These are the best." Compared to what? Which others have you used? Have you? I mean, it was clear that there was sponsorship in there. You get freebies, so you tell everybody they need to buy them, and I can't do that. I'll take freebies, and I'll tell people to buy your product, a good product. But that's, yeah. Here's what it boils down to, and I'll give you a fine example. No, I won't, because I'll be using a brand name, and I don't want to besmirch anybody. Uncle Ted Billy Bob's rod holders. Now I want some of these Uncle Ted Billy Bob rod holders. He makes excellent T-bars. They're really nice. They're $400 a set. And then that's just a T-bar. Now if you want to put the rod holders on there, they're 35 bucks a piece. Strong, solid, good quality, made in America. The finest midget gypsy unicorns put these together. Keep your money in America, yada, blah, blah, blah. But if I am not going to spend my money, if I won't spend my dollars on that product, how dare I tell you to do it? And that's how you know when you believe in a product. Now, that being said, if Anvil called me up and said, "Hey, Mike, we see you use our rod holders, or our rods rather. We think, we appreciate what you do. We would like to offer you a sponsorship, send you 10 free rods and a hat and t-shirt." I'd take it in a heartbeat because I like their product. I spent my money on their product. I don't have a problem telling you to spend your money on their product if I'm willing to spend my money on their product. And the problem I have is, like I say, I want some Uncle Billy Bob, well, I forget what his name was that I gave you, Uncle Tom, Billy Bob, the T-bars and rod holders. I would love to have them. I would love for him to send, whoever he is, I'd love for him to send me, $600-700 worth of rod holders and T-bars and stuff, and I'd put them on my boat and I'd tell you how great they are. But I'm not willing to spend $700 of my own money to buy them. And if I spent $700 of my own money to buy them, then I wouldn't need him to give them to me. So yeah, it's difficult. It truly is. It's difficult. It's a hard nut to crack. I will give you a real example though. 20 years ago, I was sponsored, for lack of a better word, by St. Croix Rods. St. Croix makes fine rods, excellent rods. At the time, their Legend Elite series had a lifetime warranty on them. And I've actually had one of their Legend Elites that I had bought back then replaced under warranty. Now it cost me $50 to get a new rod that retails for $420 now. Back then it was only $300. I got them for half price. It was, like I say, it was sort of pro staff. It was through a distributor more than the company themselves. But there were some like Daiichi hooks and X-Point hooks and Motor Guide was in there. Things I could basically buy at half price. But it wasn't to push it on YouTube. It wasn't to push it to anybody. It was, when they had local tackle shows, show up, work the booth, answer questions. If you went above and beyond and started posting stuff on, back then, bulletin boards and forums and stuff, back before Facebook was a real thing and social media and all that kind of stuff, you did that kind of stuff. And I'm proud of myself because I never tried to tell somebody to buy something I didn't believe in. But I did not pay full price for the St. Croix rods I got. I didn't have a St. Croix rod before then. So I did kind of pimp myself out a little bit. But I knew they were a good company. I'd held their rods before. I knew they were good quality. I didn't have a problem with what I did back then. But I don't want to get in that situation again where I'm trying to get free or discounted product to push something I haven't already paid my own money for. So there you go. That was a very, very, very long answer to a question that you sort of asked. And I'm also not one of those people that wants to share glory, if that makes sense. Now, where I'll go with that. So, you know, channel A, B, and C are all sponsored by Uncle Billy Bob's Rod Holders. And you can use channel A10 or channel B10 or channel C10 for 10% off. And you know, if channel A is the one running the show and talking about it, channel B will pop up, or you could use channel B10, or you could use channel, you know, or even the host will even say that. No, those are my promo codes. Those, they track me through that. They track me through how I have, what I have done to produce for them. If you buy something through them because I told you to, then I want credit for that. I don't want credit for going, me too. I don't think that's fair to the person who's actually doing the work. Again, different strokes for different folks. And I've also seen companies that started up, they were all up in the catfish community's business. Everywhere they were showing up in live streams. They didn't necessarily pimp their products straight up, but you knew who they were and you knew what products they made. And, you know, they picked up a bunch of pro staffers and now you don't see them anymore. I don't know where they've gone on to. Maybe they just got so busy from all the sales that they can't do that grassroots marketing anymore. But I feel like, you know, we were important to them and then we became unimportant. And the thing is, YouTubers in general, TikTokers are no better. Please don't misunderstand that. I'm talking the people who are trying to get freebies, they've got their hands out everywhere. And I will use Uncle Lou as an example for this. Uncle Lou, when he first started doing rods and stuff, he'd come into live streams, he would donate rods. There were, I can't tell you how many rods that man gave away through live streams to, you know, sponsoring this, that, or the other. And I was appreciative for it. I kept wanting to win one and I never did. And Uncle Lou, he sent me one. And I ended up buying some more and actually paid a little more than the cost of them to try to even things out. And I bought other stuff from him. And so I consider it having spent my own money. And I definitely spent, you know, paid full price for the other ones. But, you know, every time somebody was having, hey, you know, I'm having a 3-sub giveaway. Can I get a free rod from you? I can't imagine how many requests that poor man got for people wanting freebies from him. And Uncle Lou's still around. Uncle Lou still comes to chats. Still supports everybody. And maybe in other streams, you know, other channels I don't follow, because I have certainly changed the channels I follow. You know, he may still do a lot of that. But I push Uncle Lou rods not because he gave me a free one. I push Uncle Lou rods because I believe in the product. I like the product. I think they're a good product. And again, if Uncle Lou wanted to sponsor me, I would take it in a heartbeat. But not because I just want free stuff. It's because it's good product. Hey, H. Lee Osborne, you bought 7 amber rods. Couldn't pass up the deal they had. I think they feel better than Whisker Seeker and Slime Cat's going to order a few more. You know, what kind of deal did they have at CatCon? I didn't go to CatCon this year. I keep threatening to go, and then I back out. And I back out because it's going to cost me $500 to get to CatCon. Between a room for 2 or 3 nights, gas up there and back, and meals and, you know, that kind of stuff. Not that I wouldn't eat meals at home, but I don't know. And I'd love to go up there and meet people, but there are three problems. One is my feet can't handle concrete floors, not for long periods of time. Two is I have gear acquisition syndrome. I buy too much stuff. And three, I'm not the most liked person on YouTube. Uh, there are some people from YouTube I'd rather just not be around. I'm sure they all, people feel that way about other people too, but um, just anyway, I'd be going up there to socialize. And as you can tell from my live stream, there's a bunch of people over there I could be socializing with, and I'm sitting over here in my own little corner not being sociable because I'm kind of an introvert in person. You wouldn't know it from the smart ass I am online. I get it. During COVID, sent out over $5,000 worth of rigs to the catfish community. 5,000. 1,100 shipping alone. Now that one I believe. Now here's the thing, Wildcat, and I mean no disrespect. I don't know that I had heard of you till last few months. Now that the catfish community as a whole, we all kind of know each other to some degree. I mean, not necessarily in person, but there's a lot of channels out there I know exist that I don't go to. There are a lot of newer channels that I didn't even know were channels. Ernest, Ernest, one Bank Angler of the Year and the Golden Whiskers, River Cat. Sorry, I'm even subscribed to his channel. I didn't know he had a channel until I started hearing about that. And because there's a lot of people that I've seen in chats for years that I didn't know had channels. And I can't follow every channel. And I'm bad about the people that are like, hey, I sub to you, sub to me. I don't do that. I'm going to sub to you if I see your content and I like your content. Which is a little disingenuous because I needed subs too, but I never begged for them. I never said, hey, please sub to me. I guess there were the times I'm like, hey, I'm getting close to 500 or whatever, any help be appreciated kind of thing, but never this sub for sub stuff. Because I know YouTube frowns on it, but still it's not putting the work in. Anyway, where was I? Down East Tackle. See, I probably heard of it, but I didn't ever associate, if that makes sense, because whatever giveaways you did, I didn't know about, and I mean no disrespect, wasn't interested in. And I say that because, if, for instance, before I went saltwater fishing, I didn't need a shark. A shark rig would have been absolutely useless to me. If you're the guy that came up with demon dragons, I've never used one, never wanted to. It's a Zara spook. You took a Zara spook, you painted it. Yay. I'm not paying $5 for a rattling float thing that goes underwater. I'm not going to do it. If you send me some freebies, I'll use them. I ain't paying $5 for them. I don't put $5 in any of my rigs. I'm cheap. Those are just examples. I'm not, I actually remember the guy that does the, what are they even called? The little self-setting rod rigs. Crap. Monty Sheets from blah, 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 blah. Why can't I think of it off the top of my head? I remember in a live chat, somebody said, hey, if you send me one free, if I like it, I'll buy 5 more. And he's like, why don't you buy 5? And if you don't like them, you can return them. I was like, there you go. That's exactly. People want something for nothing. All the guard dog. Here you go. Um, Danny Stone, Creole, Parker, Fishing Freedom, Lance on your pro staff. See, that's weird. That is weird. So, yeah, I mean that's the River Rats plus Lance. I don't think he's part of the River Rats, but um, I watched Danny a lot. Watched Parker, definitely watched Creole, and maybe I heard of him. Maybe, but it went in one ear and out the other. Didn't mean anything. Danny's tackle. I don't know what you did because I know I remember Creole used to talk a lot about Dale's tackle, and of course all of them now talk about uh, Rivercat's tackle, um, and some of them are talking about Ancient Mariner reels, and I don't know. I wish I knew more. I mean, I know you tie rigs, but I don't exactly pass them. You had them before RC. And keep my mouth shut. No, I'll open my mouth. So I remember Catfish Dave had a bunch of ABC rods. I don't remember if it was uh, Big Cat Fever stuff or if that's who he went to. I remember at one point he got mad at one rod company because he wasn't. I don't even think he was sponsored by him or something. He wasn't sponsored, but he one of their rods broke and he called them up and they didn't give him the Catfish Dave loving that he thought he needed, and he's getting rid of all those rods and he's going to brand whatever the next one is. I know eh, it may have been they had slime cats and went to Big Cat Fever. I don't remember, but it was a big shindig, big hubbub. They were great rods for him. Why did he jump ship? Well, I think we all kind of have an answer to that, right? Um, if it's a good product, then why? I don't see why you'd use one company to put a foot up, to step on them to get to the next one. And again, that's not towards any of the people we talked about. I'm just talking about like Catfish Dave specifically. Um, when you can pimp one product so hard, and then you just switch on a dime and pimp something else. On the other hand, catfish rods are now a commodity. You've got so many good brands out there. There didn't used to be anybody that did catfish specific rods really. And then they started coming out of the woodwork. You've got a lot of companies that make good catfish rods. And I dare say if you took the paint and the name off of them, there are several that you probably couldn't tell apart. Wildcat rigs, all the unboxing dollars, stop the pro. So, from a pro staffer's perspective, you've got to make it worth my while, right? And I get that I've got, I don't know, 2,400, 2,500 subs. I get that I'm not the big name out there. I'm well aware of that. But, you know, a couple of packs of free hooks are not going to buy my soul. Um, I'm not big enough to get any of the big name sponsors. I get that. Um, and the packages that they give out, which are nice. Some nice packages out there. But, like I'm sure everybody's got their hand out. As an example, if you're my hook sponsor, I would expect that you keep me in hooks. That, you know, in exchange for me advertising your product, which I already believe in and which I've already used, and I've already spent my money on, I expect you to keep me in hooks. If I need 50 packs of hooks, I need 50 packs of hooks. I expect that when I have a giveaway that, I can count on you to kick in a little bit to help give stuff away. But it's all in promoting your product, right? It's not this week it's Billy Bob's hooks, and next week it's Joe Tom's hooks, and the next week it's whatever hook company will send me a couple of packs to give away. Hey, Buck Williams, appreciate the drive-by thumbs up. Good to have you in here. And as content creators and social media influencers have just, the business has exploded. Any idiot with a cell phone, as I am proving right now, can have a YouTube channel. And what I don't understand, fishing and stuff. Keith, that man puts out good videos. He gets a lot of views on his videos. He puts a lot of editing energy into his videos. He produces good videos. If I were him, had the subscriber count that he does, and I assume the ad revenue that I hope he gets, I would be putting out more videos. Those boats are really awful damn close to each other. Oh well, not my monkey, not my circus. I don't know if there's really a reason to be that close when you're overtaking another boat in the dark, but hey, you do you, boo. God, I just said you do you, boo. Y'all can shoot me anytime now. I'm done. No one will sneak up on me? No, sir. I am actually, there's a bunch of people behind me that are all YouTubers. I ain't worried about, right here, I am safe as I can get. In Memphis City, this would be a hard sell. Have an Uzi in one hand and a grenade launcher in the other, just waiting for some idiot to walk up. Sorry, that's rude. And you get a lot of emails. Can you send me this? Can you send me that for free? Give gear away to people. I like and will enjoy my product. I sell a ton of gear to shops. And that's, please understand me, man. So I watch a lot of the guys down from the Pensacola area, a lot of saltwater guys, because I love the area, I love the fish, and I want to be as good as what they portray on their videos. But man, talk about salesmen. They just, I'm using this pompano rig from this thing, and these floats, and these thises and these that's. I'm not here to tell you. If you're buying pompano rigs, you are, in my opinion, wasting money. Now, let me clarify my position on that. I absolutely understand that some people would rather go to the store, buy a rig that they know is tied correctly. They don't have to learn the knot. They don't have to put the time in. They know they got good hooks. They know they know they're getting quality. They're paying 5 times at least what it would cost them to make it themselves. And if they've got the money and they value their time more than sourcing the materials and tying them themselves, more power to them. I understand that completely. My example is movers. I will never move without hiring movers. I don't care that it's expensive and that I could do it myself. I can't do it as good as they can, as fast as they can, and break as little stuff as they do. They are worth the money. Those guys bust their butts, and I don't begrudge them a bit. That is one of those services that I will gladly pay for. I'll pay for it one way or the other. Whether it's gladly or not, moot point. So tying rigs, there are people out there, especially down in Florida, they've got money. They value their time, or maybe they don't have the manual dexterity, or maybe they don't want to put the time in to learn how to tie their rigs, and more power to them. I am not saying that they're stupid for doing it. I'm just saying that they are paying a premium for convenience. Now, those stupid crappie rigs that have those giant metal T's in them, that's a waste of money. There's no reason to be spending money on garbage. And to me, they're garbage. There's too much jewelry involved. Big Mike, he was here. I think he's already gone. He said he wasn't going to be here all night. He was going to go try to fish other areas that have been more productive for him. I don't blame it all, because, he's local to this area. He has good luck, or good results. When we call it luck, he has good results. And, we're all sitting here watching flagpoles. So, there's that. So, Mike knows what he's doing out here. Actually, Big Mike's wife was over there. Let me go. That was the last time I was over there. I don't remember seeing him. Let me go look. Oh, guess who's old and fat? Hey, it's the same answer for both. So if you got one right, you got them both right. Looks like everybody's bugging out of here now. Which makes sense. Checkout time from campsite tomorrow is noon. Oh yeah, everybody's gone, but looks like Travis and somebody else over there. So yeah, Big Mike's already headed out. I see, like I traded a rod and reel for these rod holders from Travis. They're made out of rebar. They got the rebar, whatever, the grooves or ridges or whatever on them. But he bends them like, I don't know, I'll say take down, that may be wrong on the brand name. But they come up, they bend out to the horseshoe shape. And they've got two cross sections on them. The two cross sections are both double pieces of rebar. So 2 pieces of rebar on the bottom, 2 pieces of rebar on top. And that's 1/2 inch rebar. And you can tell, no two of them are exactly the same as far as that horseshoe shaped bend. There's a really big one right there. There's a kind of a smaller one there. All the rods fit fine in any of them. And he sells those. I think he sells them $25 a piece. And but I traded him a rod and reel that he wanted for 5 of these. So I consider that one of those cases where I spent my own money on them. And I'm happy with the quality. Hey, Freedom Redberg Brenda, good to see you, darling. Haven't seen you in a while. 5 rods again and 0 fish, Scotty. I hooked up earlier, but he took me into some structure and I couldn't get him out. I gave him about 30 minutes to free himself, and he was like, nah, we good. So I don't know if my sinker got stuck or if my hook got stuck, but I finally had to break the rig off. That's been the only promising bite that I've had. And I felt him on the other end. There was a fish there. He felt like probably a teener. And I put fresh bait out when I got back from dinner. Got skipjack head on the right rod and the other 4 body pieces. But yeah, it sounds about right, Scotty. Hey, Lonnie, welcome in, my friend. I was kind of hoping you would have been down here this weekend. You're close by, I believe. Would have been nice to meet you. I got to meet Travis and Cindy. They came down last night. Got to meet Lisa and Randy. They were here today, or they've been here. I met them today. John from River Cat Tackle. Creel's brother, Andrew Tank. He's down here. There's a whole plethora of people. Pitbull, I hadn't heard of him until today. Um, but he was down here videoing. Just a bunch of people down here. A bunch of channels. Dustin from Team Sagging Whiskers was down here. Of course, Daryl Trophy Secret Outdoors, because he puts it on. Um, Freddie from FOA Customs Gear, he and Nina were down here. Chris and Telly from Hooks and Hammocks are down here. Jody and James from Pontoon Jody and Cool Cats. Matt from Wanna Be Outdoors. Lord, I'm forgetting a ton of people. Shirley T was down here. Mike Sampson was down here. Martin S from UK was down here. Apparently, Chat Cats is fishing down here. I think he sponsored it, part of it this year. I did not see him. Doesn't mean anything. Catfish Sumo people were down here. Catfish Hunter TV, John and his wife were down here. Yak Shore Outdoors and his wife and baby were down here. I mean, just tons and tons of good folk down here. Anyway, let's see. You had to work today. Well, that's an excuse. But down here, I mean, you could come right now. I didn't meet you, Scotty, because you didn't come down here, you lazy bum. Was Regs the guy all decked out? Yes, that was Catfish Regulars. He and his wife were here. Aaron's a hoot. Yeah, he was down here all dressed up in American flag attire. He did that last year too, I believe. But like I say, I'm kind of introvert in public. And if I didn't know so many people from online, I wouldn't come to this, because I get easily overwhelmed when I'm around a whole bunch of people I don't know. And I didn't introduce myself to many people, and I should have. I don't feel comfortable with it. I need to get me a shirt that says who I am, and that way people can look at me and go, "Hey, that's him. Let's shoot him." I don't know. I don't feel like it's fair to just walk up on people and accost them and go, "Hey, who are you?" And there's a nice gentleman by the name of Cody. He's local. He introduced himself to me. He and his wife were down here. I don't even know if I told them who I was. They were sitting at the same table as us, and now I went ahead and moved. It had nothing to do with them. I wanted to get, her oldest doesn't like YouTube cameras at all, cameras in general, being recorded, any of that stuff. So there was a table far back that was empty, and so I was like, let's go back there. That way when he shows up, he's away from people, make it as enjoyable as I can for him. So anyway, like I say, sometimes I have the social skills of a gnat. And get me talking about fishing stuff, I can talk to you all dang day. Wildcat, if you want to come up here looking like Justin Trudeau / Timberlake, go for it, my man. Nice looking tent I had set up with your boat parked on one side of the road. Yeah, I mean, it. Ashley used to do. She's done a little camping for a while, and she hadn't done a lot since the divorce. But she had, has her camp stove, and I was kind of hodgepodging stuff together, and she's got the tent. She lost the air mattress in the divorce apparently, so got an air mattress. But then the kids were coming this weekend, so she had to buy them a tent and an air mattress for them. And this has been an expensive weekend for her. I felt bad for her because, I told her when I found out she was going to have the kids this weekend, it's like, if you can't come, I understand. And I kind of feel obligated to, because I was coming to come down here and swap that stuff with Travis, but also, I told other people I'd be down here. So I felt like that was the right thing to do. And, we've been talking about this trip for months, but you know, situations change. I get it. And I was honestly surprised that she brought the kids. I didn't know that she would want to do that. Oh, Ashley sent me a picture. They got a big roaring bonfire going as of 4 minutes ago. There you go. Or, well, it may not be what she had going 4 minutes ago, but she sent me a picture 4 minutes ago. So our checkout time's at noon tomorrow. And of course, we got a lot of work to do before we get to that point. We got to take everything down, figure out how I got everything in the truck to begin with. At least the stuff I brought. And we didn't go. I ended up bringing 2 cases of water, 3 gallons of water, because I didn't realize that our site had water. You know, I thought we'd need hand washing water and all that kind of stuff too. And then she went and bought a case or 2 of water. And I'm like, oh, honey, if you only knew. Anyway, so I probably need to call it here pretty soon. I wanted to get a few hours in tonight to see if the nighttime catfish bite was going to turn on. It did not. And where I'm fishing out there, I found out, Martin told me there's a couple of logs out there that may have been what I got hung up on earlier with that fish. So even if I catch something, I may not be able to get her in. I don't know. Sounds like an excuse to me. But I'm good at coming up with excuses. Feel like an idiot having dragged the boat 5 hours across the state, and I'm going to drag it back 5 tomorrow. And spent maybe an hour in it. But that was circumstances beyond my somewhat beyond my control. I got to still be able to get to work Monday, you know. Be able to walk Monday. Doing a whole lot better than it was Thursday. Man, Thursday I was hurting bad. Tell you the one thing I do miss about with camping. I can live without the air conditioning in the tent. I can live with having to go to the bathhouse and that kind of stuff. Man, if they had air conditioning in the bathrooms in the bathhouse, that would be so nice. Because there's nothing like sitting there sweating, or you get out of the shower and everything is so sticky you can't even get your clothes on. I do like my air conditioning. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's about a 5-hour drive, a little over 5. Interstate, 95% of the way though. Pick up the interstate in Memphis and get off it once I get into Chattanooga. So, I mean, probably 30 miles of the trip was non-interstate. The good news is, since I can't start a fire, I don't have to put it out. Oh, beautiful out here, folks. Water's getting to be flat calm now. I think my that one black light's kind of giving up the ghost over there. Seems like it's not as bright as it was earlier. Which ain't bad considering we used the black light as lighting to even set up the tents Thursday night, and I don't think they've been charged. So that's pretty good. Yeah, if I'd gotten this fire going, that would have been a cool thing. Oh well. Never said it was bright. It's just so beautiful out here. I can complain about the heat in the middle of the day and that kind of stuff. Man, it's just... I wish I lived out here in East Tennessee. Of course, also I wish I lived in Florida, so either one will be fine. Downside to Chester Frost Park is all of the bass fishing traffic. The locals will tell you they have a bass tournament every weekend down here, every Friday and Saturday during the normal months to fish. And they were blasting off Friday morning at like 4 a.m. They turned a bunch of them blasting off. I mean, it wasn't like a tournament blast off at 4 a.m., but they were all getting in the water and doing their thing. And when you're fishing with money on the line, somehow common courtesy just goes out the window. There's one guy, sorry, my days run together. May have been yesterday morning or it was early this afternoon, I forget. But I was about to put my rods out, so it didn't bother me if there's this guy literally fishing right in front of me. But then he goes around the point over here, where Big Mike and Travis and all them had their rods out. And Travis, yells up to him and says, "Hey man, our rods, our lines are about 100 yards out." Dude didn't say a word, cranked up his big engine and hauled ass out. Okay, so he was trolling around before that, using his trolling motor. There's no reason why he couldn't have just taken an extra 3 or 4 minutes, putted along out of here. But nope, money's on the line, or bragging rights or whatever. People just become assholes. I mean, it wasn't terrible asshole behavior, but it wasn't the courtesy that you would expect would be common. Like I said, Travis was very nice. Just said, "Hey man, our lines are about 100 yards out." They're all sitting there with 10, 12, 14-foot rods, and they do cast a good long way. I mean, he wasn't lying to the dude, and he just letting them know, and dude just, I guess, got all butthurt about it. But I think as bank anglers versus boat anglers, I think we all can do better. It drives me nuts when I'm out in the boat and I see people fishing off of the courtesy dock at the ramp, because I don't feel like I should have to say, "Hey, can you move your shit, because I need to get my boat in there." And a lot of them even have signs, "No fishing from here, no fishing from the ramp. The ramp is for boats." That's cool. I understand that bank spots are also limited, but I came in to a boat ramp one day, many years ago, and I tried to avoid the guy that was fishing from the dock, and I tried to beach my boat. Unfortunately, I didn't know there were rocks there underwater, and I dinged up my prop really good. Come to find out, I actually knew the guy. And I'm like, if he just wouldn't have been on the dock, I could have pulled up to the dock, could have done my thing, could have gotten out of there without having to go get a prop reworked. And he was where he shouldn't have been. And by the same token, I understand that boaters want to beat the banks because that's where a lot of the fish are. I get it. People make the joke about, I bought a boat so I can go out and still fish the bank that I just couldn't wait to get off of. There's a reason we fish banks, right? Everybody from the bank wants to cast as far out as they can. Everybody in the middle of the river want to cast close to the shore as they can. So there's give and take. If a bank angler's already there, got his rods out, go somewhere else. Let them have that spot. Anyway, preaching again. How long does it take to get to the Mississippi River? Do I hear them fireworks? I don't hear any fireworks. To the Mississippi River, it takes me It's a loaded question. I can get to the Mississippi, I can get to the river in under 30 minutes. Now that gets me to downtown Memphis, where if your truck is still there when you get back with your boat, congratulations to you. I fished from the bank at one of the parks out there, and I had a few guys tell me, they were nice. They came up, hey, what you doing? Yeah, I come down here and I just hang out and meditate or read a book or whatever. And one of them started playing music, his right. It seemed like every time somebody came up, next thing I smell is weed. And I'm not a goody two-shoes, but it still is illegal in Tennessee. It's kind of like, I don't know. Vape the stuff. I don't care. I don't have to smell it. And it's more of a funny thing because Memphis tried to decriminalize marijuana, and the state said, Well, it wasn't even decriminalized. It was going to be, if it's under a certain amount, we'll just write you a ticket and go on our way. Pay your $50, be done with it. And if it was below a certain amount, then just leave you alone. But the state said no. The state just needs to go ahead and legalize it like half the other states and take the tax revenue and shut up. But oh well, I digress. Now, so that gets me to downtown Memphis. You should not eat anything that comes out of downtown Memphis. Mercury levels and whatever. It doesn't mean that you can't catch good fish down there. It's just, if you're going to get something to eat, that ain't the place. Shelby Forest is still in the zone that there's a consumption advisory, but you go a couple of miles up from that boat ramp and you don't have that problem. It's about 45 minutes from the house, mostly because it's back roads. A lot of it is back roads. Shelby Forest is a huge, I don't know if it's a state or federal park. Very nice park. Roads are less than desirable, but whatever. And the actual boat ramp's not actually in the park, but you have to go through the park to get to it. So anyway, I think that answers your question. But there's no courtesy dock up at Shelby Forest. And the water level in Mississippi, you have the same problem you are, Scotty. It's not. We have no dams to control the water flow or the not the current itself, but the river level. So I mean we can go 40 foot difference between our high and low points easily. So there are some places that this week you can fish it and next week it's flooded, or this week you can launch your boat and next week the boat ramp's out of the water. I actually did fish from the boat ramp one time when the boat ramp was out of the water. You couldn't launch your boat, so I didn't feel bad about parking my truck there and fishing. But there are people that'll do that when people are out on their boats, and I hate that. It's just that's not what it's the boat ramp. That's what it's there for. If it's closed because you can't use it, then for launching that's one thing. But if it's open and usable, just stay off it. Just stay off it. People shouldn't have to ask you to move. People shouldn't have to wonder if you're going to move. People shouldn't have to worry about whether there's going to be a fist fight if they want to be able to pull their damn boat out or put it in. But again, Memphis City, there's not a lot of good places to fish from the bank. A lot of the Mississippi River is owned privately, and then the places that are still owned publicly are hard to get to the river depending on the stage. You have to go down a bunch of rocks. And a few years ago, I went down, did a video where basically I was walking on where I had fished previously, and I looked around the rocks, the riprap on the side. The number of spiders. I'm not queasy about spiders, but I mean, was like a damn epidemic of spiders. Oh, anyway. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and reel these bad boys in. Oh, my God, I just said bad boys. I hate that phrase, too. Mostly because everybody uses it. Let me tell you about my rod. Now, this bad boy right here, this here rod, this bad boy is a bad boy of a bad boy. And then, the reel is a bad boy and the hook is a bad boy. Like, that's just annoying. I hate people that use that bad boy like that. Oh, this bad boy right here. Oh, yeah. Anyway. So, for any aspiring YouTubers out there, one of the big rules you need to abide by is that you never end your live stream before you get all your rods in. Because you never know what you'll have on it. In this case, this is that head. Oh, I may have gotten it free. So, looking at my skipjack head, looks like something may have gnawed on it a little bit, not much. I did have a couple of wiggles on this rod early on after I threw it out. I'd like to say, a head that big, it was going to take a real fish to do something with that. Let's see if I can get both of these hooks. So this is kind of an interesting rig. I'll show it to you because I think it's interesting. Hope it shows up on camera. So here is basically I think there I did a double uni knot, but normally I'll just do 2 loops and loop them together. So the bottom hook has the egg loop knot on it, and the top hook is actually free floating. Right? So it's to be used. The purpose of that is to use it on a big piece of bait like that, where you don't know the distance between the hooks is based upon the size of the bait. It's not really going to be for using with 2 different discrete pieces of bait, but for a big piece that you want 2 hooks in. And I've not caught a fish with this kind of setup yet, but I saw it and I thought it was interesting and I thought I'd try to give it a shot. And basically, it's effectively just gives you a stinger hook to deal with so that you can get it. And then you can put them both in the hook keeper. And I'll go ahead and take the sinker off of here so it doesn't bash around anything. I won't show you all my rigs like that. That one I just thought it seemed like an interesting concept. Now I'm not looking forward to having to pull these rod holders out of the ground. I've done it twice thus far. And let me tell you, no fish is going to pull those rod holders in. This is where I lost that fish earlier. Same piece of structure. But it looks like I get this rig back. I've been going with these bottom hook rigs, or bottom weight rigs, I should say. And so that's one of the things I got from the surf guys, is they put the weight on the bottom. And what that does is it gets your weight, or you get your bait off of the bottom a little bit. And for surf, that didn't come off. For surf fishing, it's very nice because if you keep your bait on the bottom, your crabs will come up and grab it. And this, you can basically, you put you get your bait out of the crab's face. And crabs don't really swim, they walk. And they'll stand up on their hind legs and try to get to bait. Okay, I can't get this sinker off easily right now. I'll just wrap it around the handle because these bugs are getting to me. I do not like bugs. Fortunately, they're not the biting kind of bugs, but they're still the in your face and annoying. And so another reason I like those Alios 400s is that 8.1 to 1 gear ratio. This is not one of them. This is one of the Abu Garcia carp specials. It's probably a 5.1 to 1 or somewhere around there. But that higher gear ratio, and you know, it also depends on the size of the spool and stuff, because your gear ratio just determines how many times the spool spins based upon the number of times your handle spins. So every time the handle goes full revolution, this will go about, the spool will spin about 5 times. So depending on the diameter of the spool with the line on it and everything, would determine actually inches per turn on retrieve. Anyway, so the gear ratio itself is not a one-stop number, but it is indicative of that. Anyway, when you're fishing in what? Sorry, hate these bugs. When you're fishing in an area with a lot of submerged structure, it allows you to get your bait up and out quicker, or your rig up and out quicker. There we go. Didn't think I was going to be able to get that coast lock clip to let loose of the ghost. So, in these situations, you want to keep your rod tip high and start reeling fast to try to get your rig up off the bottom so you can go over the structure and hopefully get your rig back. Oh, maybe it did come up. It did. That one was out there a good ways. Do I have a little fish? I have a little fish. I don't know how I didn't know it. I'm on, sunshine. Did I mention one of the rules is you never end a live stream until you pull all your lines in? And this is exactly why. Ashley, I know you're probably not watching this, but if you were, came off of your rod. Come here, sweetheart. You're bigger than you look. He must have been down there just chewing away. Mr. Blue Cat here. Say hi to your friends and admirers. Got a lot of marks down the side, but they're all line shaped. So I don't know if he'd wrapped himself up in that line. I don't know how he could have without me knowing it. Because, I mean, that was on a bait clicker and everything. Well, Travis, I got one. Well, whoever's left, I got one.
I don't know who I am. What you get?
Mid-South. Is that you, Dominic?
I said I don't know who I am.
You're Dominic.
I know.
Thought you said you didn't know.
Oh, I mean, am I?
I mean, I'd say he's a 50-pounder. I don't know about you. There you go, buddy. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I should have weighed him. Oh, well. It's just $1,000. So everybody but Dominic had packed up. But that was proof I could catch fish. I know I'm surprised as y'all are. That's probably about a 10-pounder. Oh, the whole time, I mean, y'all been sitting there watching the rods. Y'all didn't see anything happening. If you did, you didn't tell me. This one is hung up. Maybe. There's so many things to kick here. I know because I keep kicking them. I think I broke the weight off of this. So the other thing about those bottom, this was a sinker slide. They broke it off the sinker slide. But that's another thing I like about the bottom hook rig. So what I do is I tie a loop, like a surgeon's loop at the bottom of my 80-pounder, whatever I'm using. And then I tie another surgeon's loop and another piece of lighter line, usually 20 or 30 pound, and put the sinker on that. And that way, if my sinker gets stuck, it's the last thing in my rig. I lose my sinker, but I get my hook back. And the rest of the rig, if I'm using stuff like, well, things I don't use, like demon dragons and such. But anyway, so I don't know why I'm carrying one rod over to the truck, but I am. Never said I was bright, I only said I was handsome. So I'm glad I gave you a good example of why you never in your live stream before you reel all your rods in. So I can't see comments on my actual phone. The camera that's running this thing, so check over here real quick. Let's see what we got here. Had one channel cat all night. Not being able to hit the river is tough. I have to get better at fishing. Like, hey brother, you're out there and that's all that matters. Deborah Pratt, how you doing? Onyx Dynamo, yep, Lake Chickamauga. So folks, what I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna go back to the campsite, get a good night's sleep and head out tomorrow. I did get that one fish, it was about a 10-pounder or so. After we'd sat there and watched the flagpoles all night, nothing moving, somehow I still had a fish. Make sure my ugly face is visible, as good as it's gonna be. That ain't gonna, having that up there to go out. Look like a rabbit or something. Like a bad Snapchat filter. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you guys have stuck around, guys that have come in, guys that have gone. I just appreciate it. It's a blessing to have y'all here. I wouldn't have been out here fishing if I didn't have somebody to fish for. As stupid as that sounds. I probably would have found excuses not to fish, but I wanted to do live streaming, so I did. So anyway, folks, that's it for tonight. Probably it for our weekend. I don't know for sure. I'd love to live stream on the trip home, but I can't read chat while I'm driving. And frankly, when I see other people driving, I'm like, this is useless. Anyway, that's just me. I guess some people like it because some people watch it. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.